Hey guys, this is Ben Riley here, and I wanted to make a video about the Beatles Butcher cover. The Beatles Butcher cover is turning 50 years old this June, and today is June 1st, so I figured it's a perfect time to make a video, talk about how I got mine and how cool they are. So let me show them to you. So this is the one, these are the ones I have. This is my third state, of course, and then my second state Butcher cover. So this third state, as you can see, it's pretty beat up. Um, what I do like about this particular third state is this one is a stereo version. As you can see at the top, it's got that gray bar that a lot of collectors are looking for, where it says new improved full dimensional stereo. So stereo copies are a lot rarer than the mono versions. Um, at that time, stereo was still trying to become the new thing, so there wasn't that many. They didn't make as many, and so it was really nice to find one. This particular third state I actually got on eBay from Mr. Perry Cox. If you know who Mr. Perry Cox is, he is one of the most experts when it comes to Beatles memorabilia. He's helped write books and stuff like that for Beatle albums and the different versions of the different albums. What's different about them, how much they're worth, what are some key indicators to tell you whether you have the real thing or you don't. So yeah, it was really cool to be able to buy something off him on eBay. So that was really cool. I'll talk about a little bit about how I got them and stuff in a little bit. Let me show you the second state Butcher cover. So this particular second state is, as you can see, it's actually in really nice condition. That one of the coolest things about this one though, that as soon as I saw it, I was like, wow, this is awesome. Check this out. Look over here on the left hand side. Somehow, when they were pasting the trunk cover on top, they did not do the best job. As you can see, they left out a little portion of the Butcher cover. You can actually see John's hand right there. So that part is this part right here of John's hand right there. So I think that's really cool. I think I've seen other people with second states like this, but I mean, I haven't seen quite a few myself like this. So this was really cool. It's just awesome. When I saw it, I was like, wow, that's super cool. And in case you're wondering, there's that V, so you can't miss that. I mean, it's right there. And in fact, it might be a little bit hard because of the light and everything, but you can actually see like Ringo's head, and well, see, you can see his hair like right there. So I mean, it's really easy to. This one really pops at you, and it's in great condition. So I was super happy to get this one. So yeah, let me tell you something real quick about what else I got with this third state. So one of the cool things I got is I actually got a letter of authenticity from Mr. Perry Cox. So I thought that was kind of cool. Talks about the the third state and everything, and signed by him. So that was really cool. He also gave me the letter that Capitol Records sent to the record stores telling them that they needed to take all the Beatles Yesterday and Today albums that they just got with the Butcher cover, and they needed to send them back. The Capitol wanted them back, and so this kind of like the cease and desist letter, and so that was kind of cool. It's such a cool story about what the whole Butcher cover thing. It's just such a crazy cool story about the Beatles. I first was introduced to the Beatles by a friend of mine. I started to listen. Sorry, there's my cat. Oh, let me show you the record real quick. So this one's actually the stereo version of the record. So this is the third state. My second state is over here. I just keep them separate so that they don't, damage the records, and you don't get like that ring wear. There's a little bit of ring wear on this one, but I mean, honestly, this one's in really good condition. But anyway, so the friend that I was telling you about, he got me into the Beatles and got me into the music, and little by little, I started kind of learning more about them. One thing I thought that was really cool about their albums was that they would always leave little clues and stuff about Paul was dead. Paul was dead, and so I always thought that was kind of cool. I'm like, hey, look at that. They're having fun. With their records and stuff and the covers and all that kind of stuff. Um, Somehow, we started talking about different versions of the different albums, and um, basically it came up. One of my friends like, "Oh, did you know that there's this crazy cover called the Butcher cover?" And it's like, people first saw it and they thought it was kind of weird, and so I was like, "Oh wow, really? Let me know more about that." So honestly, I never thought I would ever have a Butcher cover. It just, I don't know, it just seemed like it was just impossible, like out of reach. Like there's no way I'll ever have one. Um, but I was like, yeah, whatever. I'll start. My friend was like, "Are you gonna start collecting Beatles and Beatle records?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't know." He's like, somehow I ended up getting Meet the Beatles without the credits. I'll make a different video showing it to you guys. But that album was so cool, and I was like, "Wow, this is really cool." Like I love. And he told me the whole story about why that particular album didn't have credits on it. So that story was cool. And then I ended up getting a second version of Introducing the Beatles, and he kind of told me about what was happening with VJ Records and stuff, and it was like, wow, this is so cool. So there was like a lot of history, like between the different albums, but still in the back of my head, I was like, yeah, well, this is all cool and everything, but it would be super nice to have a Butcher cover. I mean, that's like what you really want to get when you're collecting Beatles memorabilia, especially records. It's like, oh, it's so cool to have one. I wish I could. But, it's just like, whatever, I'll start collecting other stuff in the meantime. I ended up also getting the Beatles Let It Be box, which is really rare and very highly collectible. That was really cool when I got that. It's the box that comes with a book. It's like a book that has a ton of pages of really cool pictures on the Beatles while they were recording Let It Be. I mean, a lot of people want that thing, so I was really happy when I got that. And that's kind of when I started to realize, you know what? I can do this, I can get a Butcher cover. Why not? So, just kind of kept my eyes open, and a friend of mine told me about this one. Because, he follows Perry Cox a lot, in case he sells cool stuff on eBay, or at least just kind of check and see what he's selling. And he saw this and he's like, dude, you need to get this. This is really cool. It's a great starter copy, especially because it's a stereo. That's very important to know that the stereo versions are a lot rare. So, and at least in this era of the Butcher cover, the stereo was still rarer than mono. And so I was like, yeah, this is really cool. I think I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try to see if I can win it. Um, I was able to bid on it. I didn't think I was gonna win, but honestly, I got it for a really good price, and so I was really happy to finally have my very own Butcher cover. This one's the East Coast pressing, and you can tell because this one's a little bit more like it's got a more of a purple hue to it. The Beatles face is a little bit more tanner than the West Coast pressing. So I kind of like this East Coast pressing because they kind of pops at you a little bit more. Um, and then this one, I pretty much got them both at the same time. I also wanted a second state, and my friends like, dude, check this out. I saw this one. You may want to bid on it. So I started bidding on it, but halfway through, it started to get really high in price. So I was like, ah, man, I don't know. That's a little pricey there. I don't know if I want to buy that. And then I was like, yeah, I guess I'm not gonna get it. And then my friend saw this one, and he called me up, and he's like, dude, check this one out. This one is way better, and it's a buy it now. Do it now before somebody else does. So I was like, yes, let's do this. So I immediately bought it. It was a great price for it, honestly, for what it is. I love the fact that you know, that little piece right there, you can actually just see it. It's just so crazy. You know, I was like, wow, I need this. I need to have this. And so I bought it, and I was just so happy when I got both. You know, being able to just look at them and just, you know, enjoy the cool, you know, reading about it and just looking at them and actually having them in my hand is so cool. So honestly, I never thought that I would actually have butcher covers. So if there's anyone out there, any one of you who thinks, you know what, I wish I would have one. It'd be so cool to have one, but I don't think that's ever gonna happen. You know, don't feel that way. If anybody can get, you know, if I can get one, anybody can get one. I mean, just keep your eyes open, and you know, you never know, you may actually end up getting one. I'm hoping that maybe one day, sometime, you know, who knows, in the future I may end up with a first date. I don't know, that's that's a pretty hefty goal, but you never know, you know. Don't limit yourself. So anyway, just wanted to show you guys these awesome Beatle records and how I came about them and how I learned about the Beatles and how cool it is to have them. And it's so cool that they're turning, you know, these two albums are turning 50 years old on June 20th, and so it's just, well, originally it was gonna be June 15th, and now it's, you know, June 20th, because they got pushed back a little bit. But anyway, it's just really cool. Anybody else, you know, who has also butcher covers, you know, feel free to comment and tell me about, you know, how you got them and stuff. This is, you know, they're great albums, and they're something to be, you know, admired and enjoyed. And so I hope you guys like my video. Let me know in the comments if you guys, you know, if you, what you guys think about them. And thanks a lot, guys. Thanks for listening to me. And this is Ben Riley, out.